Oh, there we are. Boy, I'm really sorry. I had to apologize here. If I just noticed on the screen there that about that put the process together with the streaming. Unfortunately, let me go back and start again here. As I said a few moments ago, just really sad about the fact that unable to go ahead with the process together on marker technique due to the fact that we had some kind of alarming news. My grandson is going into surgery this afternoon and have to go through the process of with our family and so forth. I don't want to rush the fact of putting together that marker tech program, so I do want to be able to put together a good agenda together for that, and I really regret the fact that I'm not able to get pushed into that yet, but I didn't want to start something here without. It's a real good itinerary to work with, and thanks to you, Antares. An excellent job of putting this thing together as far as subject matter is concerned and what content should be. And I think we said last week, for example, we're getting into maybe some 5-point categories about how it all comes together, but under the heading of getting into the 5 basic solids. I think that's the key to the whole process of working with mark technique or anything we deal with as far as design is concerned, with whether it's product design, transportation, architecture, exterior and interior. Very, very sensitive stuff here. I think it'll be okay. It's a very minor set of circumstances here, Antares, but again, you're a little bit terrified. It was a bit alarming to him, and it all came together, but it should be a very quick system. We've got to be out there in the next 45 minutes to an hour to make sure he's okay with our family. But so far, so good. He's taking it very well and getting ready to go into the prep. So all that to say that I just thought we'd go back, and since we didn't show this thing last week as far as the final process is concerned, I apologize. I thought we were recording the thing and I didn't see the timer going, so my apologies for that as well. This is the final layout with this whole process we're dealing with here with this Chris Craft piece. Really a big challenge in terms of putting together the little detail pieces. In the end were really kind of rough to work with. There's the actual reflection system into the water. From the primary piece. I'm going to go back and add a little more highlights to it. And then on the other one up on top here, that came out pretty smoothly. Add a little more spray in this thing, and add a little bit of color here. A little more, and again, some highlight back in the water. And then the third elevation piece, we had to add some like crisscross graphics and some of the actual spray, for example, from the actual boat itself, and then putting a little more definition in the shadow in the water. So it was really interesting how it all came together. And I think the last thing that Mark, client, wanted to move into was putting like a sunset into this thing. So it's kind of really tough to work with that sky to get it to look like it was really not overdone and not muddy. I'm working with a pastel process, and it gets a little bit on the touchy side sometimes, but I think that worked out pretty nicely as far as technique goes. And I'm just waiting now from him to get the final approval to wrap it all up and get it all set, add more highlights to it, and then hopefully we get a chance. I'll photograph it and maybe show it to us. Making a presentation piece next go around. But back to the primary thrust here today, I think the thing that really was a shocker to me was I was all set to go. There's some homework on this marker technique piece, and the more I thought about it, and now with this situation with my grandson's situation, I really wanted to take the time to go back and do a really good, thorough job of technique work, because it's so different, Chad. It's muddy. Yeah, I mean that you're right. I mean that could really. I mean when you get the pastel, one of the things working on this paper surface too, the grain picks it up, and if you don't do that correctly, you get a real good touch to it. I just kept it real subtle. Kept erasing things out, adding a little more layer of color, and erasing things out. Finally got to a place where I think it's stationed just enough to kind of put it all together, and that was a real surprise to me from the client's point of view about putting together a sunset in this whole thing, and I think that's a good call too. It took away from being just clouds or whatever, so it gave a little more character to it, and the color system fell in line with some of the rosewoods that are in the actual boat itself. So thank you, Antares. I mean it was not fun, I'll tell you. Really touchy stuff, because once you lay it down there, yeah, you can erase it, but if it's the wrong color and it gets too ingrained in the paper, it's hard to move it around. So a really delicate set of circumstances to work with here. But I cannot thank you enough, Antares, going back to your subject matter here, for really putting together a good Q&A session last week about what this marker study is going to look like and how we're going to handle this whole technique piece when it comes together. And I think, and again, as I said, to me, the most important part of getting this whole process down with the marker technique is to really take a look at the 5 basic solids. So I'm going to start this program by going through maybe a 6-point outline. And the first point will be how to understand the constitution of the solids. Each one, sphere, cone, rectangle, or rectanguloid, cube, and the last one, just drawing a blank here. Putting those pieces together, the 5 basic colors are so critical in terms of what they do constitutionally. When light source hits them, whether it's metallic or matte, there's a strange set of circumstances come about. So once we understand what the geometry is of those 5 solids, the stronger our case is going to become to put together a good marker set and where to place emphasis and where to leave it alone. And we'll let the paper come through. So we'll go back to a lot of little things in review in terms of what process should look like. That 50, 25, 25 rule is very important in this area as well. And I think the solids are extremely tough to deal with, especially a sphere, because that's a zero, to me, in reference, it's a zero surface, reference surface, and it's really tough to deal with because how do you end it? How do you make it look like more parabolic and a little rounder? And fluid, and then when you start to integrate these things, it becomes a lot more magical in terms of putting it all together. Another good point too with this whole idea about the solids is once you understand that geometry, there's a little principle I'm going to utilize when we start the program, and it's going to be called integrate to separate. I'm going to put them together to integrate them, show you how to integrate one form over another, and then begin to separate them in terms of illustration and technique-wise with marker. And you also brought in some great points here too, Antares, about quick gesture methods. How do you put together methods of gesture? What flair into a sketch, and how to become more elusive with it, not so rigid. The third point was working with the light source. That's a really critical portion too. And as I said earlier on, I think when you handle that kind of situation with light source, there's a key trick to understanding what light source does. Since it moves a lot and it's very animated, you can actually start with a primary light source and using the 3 phases of light, for example, direct light, ambient light, and reflective light, and begin to move that light source around, and you can make your illustrations look like, for example, you've got multiple light sources, but it looks like it comes from one source. We'll get into that conversation as well. And reflections, very simple to do, very quick and animated. And the more metallic it is, the more high luster it is, and the more really graphic it is to work with those reflection systems. And the last one is just the animation. How to make it more fluid and more, for lack of a better, more gesturally with sketches in terms of being fluid with it as opposed to being so filled in with it. So all those pieces are going to come together. And as I said in the beginning of the program here, it's just so interesting how, let me get a question here, Tara. Something that also trips me up sometimes, representing different materials, matte versus shiny, etc., and how to present those. Yeah, I think that's going to be part of the process too, Tara. So we'll make sure that, on a reflective surface, you're going to see a lot more paper being utilized, and we'll come back in and fill with pastel to kind of bring the gap together. And then actually the more matte it is, the more solid it becomes, so there's no need to add any pastel. You just have to build the layers up, and we'll show you how that's done as well. And some very quick, hopefully some very active methods to deal with here. So that's another great point to work with. And that'll fall into the category of working with a light source, for example, how to work with that material, put that to pieces together. So that's great. Excellent question. Let me stop here for a moment. Is there something that I'm missing here? Are we okay as far as the content goes? I think it's about a 5-point plan and a 6-point plan. And the only fear I have, for example, not fear, but what I'm worried, concerned about, is not the holiday system is coming in. I'm not sure if I want to start that thing and then have to almost interrupt the thing for a couple of weeks because of the holidays, or just start with a fresh new palette on the first of the year or after the holiday is over. So what I'll do throughout the course of the next few days is to keep everybody tuned in on Discord about what the status is going to be. But it will be done. Looks like comprehensive. Yeah, it's very comprehensive in terms of, even as far as the program is concerned, the marker technique program in Terrace. Make sure I get that, get the right question down there. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nice. I think it's a great study to get into. So I'll just hold on for your conversation there, Terrace, and see what we've got. It really, it's just a very, very good process to get into, because I've had over the years of putting the workshops together and working with students and professional corporations alike. There's always a mystery about this marker stuff. They're terrified of it, and then rightfully so. I mean, it's a very difficult medium to work with, because once it's down, you can't adjust it. Again, let's go back to another thinking process and teaching principle we'll work with when we get this thing started. It's going to be simply this: know the end from the beginning. Know the end from the beginning. Now, let me clarify that. What we mean by that is not that it's all going to be conclusive when you start and you see the vision. Know the end. What's the vision? Know the end from the beginning. Now, as you go through the process from step to step to step, There'll be some adjustments made. There'll be some very minor little things that take place to kind of alter the course of action, but you still have that primary vision together to put it all together and to conclude it. That's, to me, a very, very solid approach. So the mental side of, okay, this is what I have in my hand, in my mind. I've got a two-place coupe. It's going to be very low-slung, very fluid, very dynamic. I've got a vision for that. Now, as I go through that, when I put the illustration together, it's going to change a bit. It's going to adjust, but at least the vision is still intact. So many of us, and this is not a criticism, over the time, I've just learned over the course of time, so many of us don't have a vision. And again, that's not criticizing anybody. It's just how it is. We start a sketch, it's going to be all okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Have an idea of what you want to pursue. Then pursue that from point to point to point to point. And let creativity guide you to it. And that's the thing that's really unique. Let it go a little bit, release it. And while I'm on that subject matter about release, one of the greatest mysteries about Magic Marker is how to work with a system to kind of fully saturate a process. And when it gets to a point where it tends to read, release it. So you saturate to release. And you also saturate to generate. So all these pieces and principles we're going to be talking about in time to come with this whole marker process as it comes together. So I think what we'll do when this agenda, and as I said, I'm working on that agenda to get it complete, but my concern is because of the holidays with family and so forth coming up, it might be a little tough for the next few weeks to get the thing. I don't want to start something and have to interrupt it for 2 or 3 weeks. So I promise you I'll put together an agenda. Maybe next week, if I get a chance to go on the air, I'll maybe put together an agenda, get some approval from you and Terrace and other individuals who might be listening, and then we can take it from there and then start the process from fresh, step one, and get into a lot of different situations where scenario A is this, scenario B is this, scenario C is this, and we'll take it right down the line. So I'm really honor bound to not start something and not conclude it properly. So if we have to move into the new year, we will. But as I said, I'll keep you posted on my Discord account as to what we're taking place here. Oh, by the way, before I forget too, Antares, just want to thank you so much for that great architectural sketch. You had I didn't have a chance to respond to you because of my grandson's situation, going back and forth with my family here, what the status was. But I just want to thank you for just a really terrific job on an architectural rendering from the illustration piece you did. The reference was great. And the sketch was just terrific. We find a way. Yeah, I think that I do too. I think that's the right. Thank you for your understanding on that whole idea of waiting until after the holidays for this program to begin, because I think that's the key thing to it all here. And that'll give us time from this end of it to pull out some resource work and put together a good agenda for phase 1, phase 2. I can see this program, for example, this marker technique program, going into maybe a 5 or 6 week dissertation. Maybe I might go twice a week. We'll see what happens after the first of the year. But get some good feedback from yourself and others, Antares, and we'll get that taken care of. But again, to you, back to your illustration that you sent by the email. I didn't get a chance to respond to your process here, but I will stay in touch. Just a great job on an architectural sketch. I mean, that thing read like gangbusters. Really well done. The drawing was crisp. The use of media was really, really, really well done. So a lot of progress coming along here in Terra. So congratulations on that excellent job. I mean, that was really, really well done. Are you doing some more? Are you adding to it? Are you adding some more sketches to it? For example, a different subject matter. If you are, feel free to send them along, because I'll take the time to really make sure that we get a chance to communicate where you are with this stuff and get this taken care of for you. Give some feedback. But I was just really solidly impressed with that operation you put together. It was just really, really well done. So, just wait for your comment here. Is that found fair to you? Hopefully, all of your compliments on the sketches. I found where that trying to get. Yeah, I think it's a very sincere compliment. I'm watching what you did. Remember some of the black and white graphic ones you did some months ago? From where you were there and where you are now, it's just light years. I mean, it's great. It's good to see that the technique is right. The materials look good. The clean system you're working with. The drawing was great, and using a reference as a focal point was a really good help, I think, in terms of putting that together for you. Cannot thank you enough for the work they're doing, and it's just so neat to see it come together very, very smoothly. And again, if you have other sketches, for example, whether it's product, automotive, or whatever it might be, interior space and architecture, please feel free to send them along, and I'll make sure we get a chance to see them and respond back and forth with you on these matters too as well. So, and I think what I might do too, sometime after this situation with my grandson, I've got your email address, and I'm going to send you some illustration work on a message center through through the system to get you some information to it, just to message some of the stuff to you. I've got your address here, and we can go through the process again. Some little, maybe some bits and pieces for you to look at in terms of adding to your dossier and the format you're working on. So really cool. Good stuff here, guys. So that's really going to be about wrapping it up here today. I just don't want to take a lot of time here. I just didn't want to be rude and not come on the air and explain the situation. So what we're going through here today. Once we get past this day, we'll see what happens. And again, I would love to be able to, I am going to put together a good solid program, but I think we'll wait till after the first of the year. I do not want to start and interrupt it. So between now and next week, and throughout the next few days and weeks, I'll make sure we get some information on Discord to you to keep you up to speed on where we are. And in the meantime, too, Antares, if you've got other things you want to work on, for example, that might be of interest as well, not only marker work, but subject matter, anything you've got in mind, please feel free to forward it. I'd be more than happy to help you with that. But I think one of the nice things about this whole macro technique thing is across anything. Yeah, it'd be great. I'll send it across and make sure we get some good information to you. I think I've got a photograph. I just finished my Christmas card. I send that to all my clients. So when I get a chance, when I get that back from the shop, I'll photograph that and get that to you. I think you'll like it. It was a nice one. I do one every year for my client base, something like 75 or 80 Christmas cards of the subject matter. It's always automobile history. Gee, isn't that funny? From my background, it's just been a habit of mine. Just go through some of the classics, some of the old antiques, some of the future concept work. But I just finished some up. I think you'll like it, and I'll send it along to you as well, Antares. So without any delay here, I don't want to really get into a situation and be redundant here, but again, can't thank you enough for taking the time to join me today. I'm very sorry for the abbreviated process, but we'll take care of this matter with my grandson, and we'll get it all taken care of. And then maybe once I get the approval from my client, I'll add some more highlight to this, and maybe just start try to let you see that maybe a quick sneak before the holidays. If not, we'll make sure we get it all done after the first of the year. Cannot thank you enough again, Antares, for your commitment, and really fully respect the fact that your skill set is just getting stronger and stronger. So congratulations. Keep at it here, and we'll keep you posted, and I'll send some material to you. And again, watch your Discord. I'll try to get together with the situation at hand between now and the end of the year. And I will do this, so I'm going to wait. Wish you a very Merry Christmas by Discord. I think we'll be able to do that if things turn out the way that we don't get that situation in the air for that marker program. We'll do that. I think the more I think about it, with your permission, I think we'll hold off and go until after the first of the year, because there's a lot of things coming up here in the holiday session that I don't want to interrupt with our family, nor to you, etc. Lots of things to take care of. So we'll get a fresh page after the first of the year and just start cranking at it again. So above all else, I can't thank you enough for the loyalty. I just respect having you on board, because your voice and your input is terrific to me, very helpful, extremely resourceful. And again, grateful for the fact that you're on board. And we have a moment. Take a look at my website, Jim at drcontrast.com. Just really interesting. I mean, drcontrast.com is the website. Email, you've got the address, so you're in good shape there, and everybody else is really great. So, very good. Take care of yourself, and I hope you have a great week. I'll keep you posted by Discord throughout the course of the week here. Have a great day. Thanks again for joining me today, Terrace. I wish you all the very best. And always remember this. Never forget to dare to be great, because you are. All the very best, and all the best to your grandson. Thanks to the knowledge. Yeah, thanks very much to you, Terrace. And I'll be in touch. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and I appreciate the wish here. We'll find out what's going to take place with AJ in the next few hours here. Thank you. Have a great week, and all the best, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye now.